Well, we're back here, the back of this duplex on the hill. Looking at their wonderful yard, which is part of the overflow area, most of which has been filled in by the property known as Aspen Ridge development site. Here they've dug a massive hole, piled up a lot of shale all the way over against this tree, and that's to raise the sewer line a little bit. Squirrels are still enjoying this area, but there aren't as many trees to feed them and nest in, but they'll continue to persist. They've done it all over, everywhere we've seen land cleared this way in wetland. They keep coming, trying to live. You can see across the creek the land's a lot higher. Looks like they filled in part of that detention pond to do the sewer work. I guess they'll dig that out again before long. Property line, it says. Didn't leave very much between it and the property line. Up here in other places, they came all the way to the property line with a silt fence and over it on some of the Moody property, it appears. Yeah. Yeah, 99% of the time. They've got a decent space here, 4 feet maybe. But that's not the case in most areas. Put the silt fence right up to the property line. Good bird nesting and roosting habitat out here. Cedar may not be any good for quail. If it takes over, it replaces the native food supply, but for a lot of songbirds it's a serviceable roosting and even nesting area, I believe. Well, your species have their different preferences. Looks like they're building a wall. I don't know how high it's going to go. It's a lot higher than the ground in the wetland area, that's for sure. Moody property was just a foot or so above some of that out there, and then out in the center it was 2 or 3 feet lower where the little channels ran through. But the Moody property probably gonna hold water with this construction in here. We don't know how it's gonna drain out. Lake Moody, it'll be nice if some ducks find it, I guess. Geese like to feed in this kind of grassy area if they got some water in it or adjacent to it. When there's standing water in it, shallow, Canada geese come and walk all over it, so it'll make pretty nice habitat. But it'll be kind of crowded up to that big construction here. See Hootenpile's barn and those few oak trees remaining across the creek. In fact, you can see the tops of some of the trees on the World Peace Wetland Prairie back there, and hard to sort them out from the others. And then you see the pine row on the Pinnacle property runs all the way up to the railroad. And then you'll see the railroad, and since some of these old people here in their 70s and 80s were kids growing up when some of that land was cleared for pasture and whatnot, it never was good for most crop purposes, because all of this was about 6 or 8 feet lower. What you see here, you can see the land outside it here where it's dropping off that way, and Moody's Corner's pretty darn low there and still qualifies as wetland. Of course, these guys came outside their property and cleared off this piece of land belongs to the Moody's. We're not sure why, but we know they seem to have a fetish for wanting their buildings visible, whereas people living in the buildings may want to have, instead of seeing other buildings, they'd like to see the beautiful row of timber that was here. But they're not going to know it was ever here unless somebody spills the beans, and so they won't know what they could have had exactly. We don't know if that's going to be a ditch or a storm drain or what parallel to this fence. Exactly what it's going to do. We do see some pipes coming out of it, which suggests that that's going to drain this way, and it'll be a ditch or a drainage pipe enclosed here. We're not sure what yet, and I bet it wasn't on the original plans, and so we don't have a copy of their latest work orders or anything, so who knows what's going on. See a similar fence over on the other side of the Moody property, the north side. They built just outside the tree line. They took out most of the trees. It used to be a solid row, basically, of trees. And they haven't been able to disguise the fact that this is a very low area. And you see how the soil cracks when the water soaks in and it dries out on the surface. You get the cracking, and it's typical. It's been one of the driest years that anybody can remember here, probably since the 1930s Dust Bowl era or something. So it's pretty dry here, even after a few occasions of rain. More sewer line. I guess the road now. Last time we were here, the road was several feet lower there, and they built it up, and this is probably more realistically close to the finished road level, because we knew they weren't going to keep it down 6 feet lower out there or anything. It made too much sense for the protection of adjacent property, place for water to stand, but when it floods. But that's not their purpose. We see, of course, they've done a lot of work, and we hope that some of it will actually have a good effect. Although reducing flooding downstream is impossible with this, unless they captured all the water coming down 6th Street, from 6th Street under the railroad, and saved it on this property, which they don't have room for, not even close. It used to do it, but their little ponds will maybe succeed in holding the water that falls on their property, but not the water that runs to their property and tries to overflow the way it used to, because that won't be possible anymore. Something I've never seen here before. There appears it's the side of our house right here. Let's go back. Is that our dining room window? Certainly looks like it. From Moody property. You can begin to see that stretch through there a year ago. Not even close. Solid big timber and lots of understory secondary vegetation on this property. It was beautiful, and the squirrels and birds were using it like crazy. Mr. Moody says that there are a lot of birds nesting and roosting in these row of trees. I know it's true of this row down here too. Beautiful vine growth. Artists couldn't create something better than that. Across that edge of the creek, I think that's one of the tree preservation signs being ignored, flipped up. That's terrific. But we know that some people involved in this construction actually are very sympathetic to the preservation of trees in an urban area. So they take them off their farms, and don't see anything wrong with taking the few remaining trees from a place like this. So they're careless around the edges. That's why you see the damage on the tree trunks in a lot of cases here. Straight behind the Moody house. Place this was to visit in years past. Okay, well, I think they stirred up a lot of broken glass here and broke a lot more. There's some really neat old bottles and things. But they're all broken down. Probably some others buried under there. People used to dump way back more than 100 years ago in places like this. They weren't necessarily better stewards of the land than some of these developers in doing that, but they didn't make the kind of permanent changes in the lay of the land that these guys are doing. Really, that must be one of their detention ponds. And you can see the big fence. Wonderful crooked fence here. See, that's a property line stake with the pink on it there. And the silt fence actually is leaning over it. And you got the same thing down here. It's property line stake. And it's leaning over it. Well, of course it goes. Already lined stake with all this stuff crushed down. It'll fall over the Moody's property, and you can tell the way it's leaning. And that other property line stake's in that corner. So they had no respect for other people's property. And I would submit that they don't have any respect for their own property. They wouldn't have done this kind of massive construction without regard to habitat, beauty of the place. They were changing. I can see apparently water will pour out up there somewhere, and there'll be a storm drain or a storm runoff. Imitation Creek here, ditch of some kind. We don't know exactly till we see it. But yeah, this is over the Moody property line in a lot of places. But they haven't objected, and folks are into exploitation of others, and the resources are not going to voluntarily protect a lot of things in this world. We'll find a way to get some. This dirt's been dug out over across the creek. And used to build these mounds here. And we'll be building sitting on top. Now you can see how they let the machines bash into the trees here. Pretty careless, pretty thoughtless. It's hard to imagine a process of a man who could crash into a machine that's so much older than he is and survived here so long and treated with so little respect. Especially when these guys in the hot weather would move the silt fences and park under trees on this development site. They'd actually pull the machines under and park in those spaces. That was really difficult to explain. Hard to explain crashing into the roots or cutting roots for that project over there. It's indefensible. Little drain here, but see, there were natural drain areas that came down across that property, and they've been covered up. So whatever comes through this little drain just spreads out over this wetland area between here and the wetland area by the creek that's been filled. Didn't see up there. Did not see up there. Oh, the birds and squirrels love the Moody's yard here. Since all those trees are gone, some of them don't have a lot to eat except what they get here. So it's understandable. The birds are all over their beautiful yard and enjoying the feeders. And the doves, of course, are one of the frequent visitors to this kind of place. But just saving this strip of trees of various kinds and understory vegetation, bushes, and so forth can really make a difference in the population of birds here. Really make a big difference. That's the water main. It's not a sewer line, that's the water main. Coming from the street, I guess. Yeah, the main thing in building this is to protect the water being brought in, treated water, and not let the groundwater get into it. And you actually don't want the treated water overflowing either, because it will have chemical content that's not good for the creek. So it's important to keep the sewer with its sewage, the water main, and other things all totally separate. Moody's beautiful backyard. A lot of walnuts here, and that's possibly what that squirrel has, although I couldn't see it in his mouth. Could be just an acorn, but they will get those big old walnuts and try to take them to a nest like that. Finish eating them sitting up high. You better watch out, Cat. Mr. Moody's going to get you. Birds and squirrels. It's an old house, but it's well cared for and it's beautiful. T.W. Moody. Right there. Drake house is about to have condos built behind it, and they tell us that they're going to imitate the style of the Drake house, the Moody house, and we hope that works out, that they are as nice as they promise. Done a lot of work, made that house look a lot nicer. Got swings, fences, a little pond, and a tent. Enjoy the outdoors. Pretty nice. Fresh paint looks good, and guttering, and various things. Everything's quiet at this house. Makes you wonder if it's empty right now. Talked to somebody here not long ago. They had some garage sales, and maybe they sold everything. That's Mr. Christie's house, and he's given his to the National Cemetery when he leaves. That's who'll own it. Really, I think so. Now you can see all the way the railroad across the creek from here. Standing right here in the sidewalk next to Hill Avenue. That's phenomenal. It used to be that way. See food and piles buildings right here. That wasn't the case in the past either. Mr. Christie has a lot of gardening going on. He's and his wife up in their 80s, and they work hard like young farmers on that. You can see the flag in the cemetery. You can see that from a long way off in all directions. See the trees are still pretty colorful in there. Most trees in the city have lost their leaves, but those are really nice, really beautiful. Here's a squirrel chewing on the nut, trying to cut into it. Takes longer with a walnut than a pecan or an acorn. And up on the alley, it leads off the hill behind Drake House. All that water will actually come down this drainage. Oh, not quite a quarter mile, but a couple hundred yards. Maybe to get down here. It also drains off the cemetery, runs under the street right there, and somehow gets down to Town Branch. It's a bridge. See home? Riparian area of that yard behind one of the habitat houses. They've taken a lot of the undergrowth out and where the birds nest and feed, and where they roost at night, and they said they're going to fill it with dirt, which will mean that there'll be another area probably won't be absorbing water or flowing down the creek. It's unfortunate when the owners of these single-family homes do that sort of thing, but it's partly my fault and others trying to save this watershed that we haven't educated them about it. That yard should actually be lowered and nothing but absorbent soil used in it, because by being raised the way it is in its natural state already, it forces water over in Hoodenpile's yard. So that's an unfortunate reality. Somebody's moving with a big old Penske truck. Curb the clutter. This street kept litter free by Burt Root Midwifery. Jennifer Creel and Partners. They've done that work for years here on this street. Their house is just around the corner to your left. Second house. Some of our city workers came out and did some very strange work here where they covered the soil with blacktop. And we don't understand what they thought they would accomplish except to get the water off the street quicker, but it's not a pleasant sight, is it? It's also going to wash that blacktop into the creek. It's not solidified. Not a good thing. They opened up this culvert here, which really wasn't necessary. This was all absorbent soil. It soaked in here. You had a lot of vegetation, so it's a needless project. Looking at Mr. Hootenpile's yard, which floods, and of course overflows on down that way to our left. The water's up all the way over his driveway, up into the yard over there, past the little fence. Larry and Dinah Smith have a nice yard and pool, and the creek swerves around right behind the house there, straight down that way. I'm not sure how to spend money. Got some groceries. Mitch Hicklin's tent's still here. I don't know where Mitch and his dog are. Mitch got out of jail right before last, and we stayed in a motel last night. We don't know about tonight. Good night for him to stay indoors if he can. But I think the tent will be secure there. He's got it tied down well now. Lake Hootenpile. What happened?
Water main break.
Just a little while ago, or who called in? Hood and Pile?
Do what?
Did Hood and Pile call in from over here? Or?
I have no idea.
I didn't know it was over here, because up there it's in the street.
It runs at an angle from Valve right out there in the middle of Hill Street. Cuts across right about here where the blue paint is, about where the water main's running.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my commode was starting to fill up after I flushed it when it cut off. Whoa. They should just have all this replaced before they repave this street.
Oh, great.
I mean, if they don't do that, it's just going to be hell forever. But it hadn't exploded in a year and a half or something since last time it blew out. I don't know. Down there deep. Yeah, see, this is the way the water, when that overflows up there, it used to, it ain't gonna overflow now. It's gonna overflow. It's all gonna be on this side, because all that they're filling in up there, that was where it overflowed. So this was a continuous lake 3 times in '04, all the way up to that where the railroad trestle is, and those people are filling it in, so it's going to be deep.
Yes.
Real deep here. We told them that, but City Council and the Planning Commission so happy to have them build it. They didn't care. They didn't care what, It's always going to flood a few more houses, but it doesn't matter about those houses. We'll build them some more if they've got enough money.
That's one thing, it's hard to keep everybody happy. I mean,
oh Lord, well, they're not too concerned about keeping the ones that are here happy. It's getting some more in here to pay some more sales tax. You got to have sales tax to pay for the infrastructure, and you need the infrastructure because of all the new people coming. So you got to get more new people coming, pay sales tax, and pay for the infrastructure for the last bunch that came. So
a revolving cycle.
You won't ever.
Yeah.
You don't ever catch up. Yeah, this is a lot worse than the street part, but they're making a lot of worse than this. Yeah. But this is a nice lake out here. It really needs just go ahead and dig it out a little more. Stocks of green sunfish and stuff in here. It's a bass. It'll be alright. At least that's not the sewer. That's what you hate, isn't it?
I don't know about it.
Well, did you call them to tell them it was broke this morning?
Yeah, betcha I did.
What was it, all out here?
I thought that line had plugged up. I come down here to take it out of there and to clean it out. See, there's there's a clean out right
That's
there.
where the drain is, yeah. That'll get it, yeah. Golly.
It's right underneath that tree. It's bubbling up like crazy down there, right underneath that tree. I bet that line's broke right square underneath the center of it.
much water in the hole when I got here, but it's a lot run out of this.
Still a big line running into it.
Oh.
See, what happened is got the points cut off over there, the points cut off, our fixtures cut off over there and run back here. But they got a 2-inch line that circulates so the water won't stagnate.
Oh. Something to dig under that root.
This is sunk down already some more. It's sunk down now more than what it was before. I think there's a void down there someplace.
Yeah.
You know there is right over there. Where that is at. See that water coming up to there.
Right. Well, where's the line go to your house?
Oh, way up there.
In the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is the main line. It comes over like this and goes like that over the street.
Middle of the street, yeah.
Why they did that, I don't know.
No, that's kind of weird. They just like a lot of folks, they don't figure you're ever going to have to fix something.
There's a hole right here.
Uh-huh.
Ain't no telling how far down it goes.
Right.
Right there is where the hole's at. It's bubbling up right here in 2 different places. Right here. It's coming out mostly right there. Then over here it's bubbling up. Right here. There's 2 places here for bubbling up. Right there's one, and I think there's the other one. Right there. Right there it was.
Yep.
Trying to get a guy to cut that tree back. About 2 feet higher where I can take care of it. I wouldn't do it. See, I can't fall that tree. Go right out in that street and take it forever. Probably take the power line from the other side.
Yeah, that's right.
If you cut the tree down, it'll grow again. It's got enough root there. I think cutting the pieces off that it's thrown off of it. This is a little loose on it now. A little off the trees there. One of them died.
Man, I don't know.
Right over here, one of them died.
That was probably got too much water. What kind is that?
Popular. There was a weeping willow there beside it. Died.
Willow's the only thing that will grow down here and not be overwhelmed with the water. You ought to have your cypress tree out here.
I like
wish you could have talked to them to bring one of those over here instead of drawing them.
They took out some beautiful cypress
Yeah.
over there. I didn't know what cypress looked like. Cypress is an evergreen.
Well, it's a redwood relative.
It's an evergreen.
It's a close relative of the redwood. But you know all about them. But those cypresses in
But see, I didn't realize how pretty they were. I never been around.
Well, if you go down to Lake Conway, you can see some. You've been there, hadn't you?
They had a dozen of them in that place over there.
Oh, they had several, yeah. But see, they live hundreds of years, just like the redwoods.
Yeah.
There's some in Arkansas, like 1,000 years old, I think, that they've identified.
Look there was a snow place. This is snow.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get my dogs out and go to work and all that stuff, and can't use the bathroom.
Dog's still alive? No, we can't either. We ain't got no water.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go there. I'm real nasty.
Guys that ain't got no water. It's just us. That's right here in the corner, ain't it?
I don't know about down there.
Well, see, it's not shut off down there. Shut off right in front of your house over
Oh,
here.
okay.
Larry may have one.
I don't think so. He always was out when I was.
They turned the water off? Yeah, but it was the main line coming through. See, there's another line feeding right over here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See?
Yeah. Gosh, I wish they'd dig it up and fix it all before they pave the
Well,
street.
they're supposed to fix. I thought there was only one water line coming through. I didn't know
I did
there
too.
was three.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, actually, there's two, but there's another one that feeds around it, and it's coming into this line someplace past the shut-off valve.
Yeah,
Now, why they did that, I don't know.
that makes sense.
See, that's why there's still water running.
Well, you know, when Al Dunn was here about 3 years ago, you remember him telling us about all that stuff, and he was saying when he got his daddy decided Grandma in my house there needed a bathroom, so he built her bathroom, and he took out half the kitchen to make a bathroom. So I got a little bitty bathroom, a little bitty kitchen in there, and they didn't have running water over here sometime in the 30s or 40s. Oh, that's it right there.
Yeah, right there.
Huh.
See, so if Larry's hooked on that side, he's got water.
Uh-huh.
But you're hooked up on this side. I think me and you are probably the only ones that's out of water.
Huh. I don't know, I wonder. I'll have to ask Diana.
The others, the pressure may be down. If he's hooked up over here, which I doubt if he is, he's bound to be hooked up down here. See, your house is probably hooked up right in here somewhere.
Well, no.
Where's your water meter at?
It's right here. Right here by the entranceway. Whew. See, it's right here. And the line goes right under the edge of the house.
That's sewer there.
No, that's the water. This is the water. That's the water cutoff right there.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. But
So-
I bet you poor bitch. Oh no, me and you and Diane is probably no. Diane's feeding off of Larry. I bet me and you're the only ones out of water.
Maybe so. I hope so. They don't deserve that misery.
I bet we.
No, my
are.
sewer goes up over there
Yeah.
on that side of the
Yeah, when
house.
I seen that big round thing, I was thinking, what's the deal? But
Yeah.
you're right. It does. I've got
This
mine
is-
like that too, but mine ain't quite that big.
Man, I wasn't expecting it to be quite as chilly today. I thought maybe the
I hope
wind.
they get that fixed for too long.
Yeah, for tonight.
Well, they'll get it fixed tonight.
It-
They quit.
But it may be dark. They'll be working on it because
Yeah.
they get. But if they get under that tree,
Well, they had to shut it off. That line's broke. It's not just that ain't fooling around.
it's pouring.
I think they'll have to put something beside the clamp on it, but they may not.
Well, go warm up.
Yeah.
See you later. Thank you. I don't know whose those are.
What the heck did somebody put them there?
I guess I don't know. I guess I ought to carry them to the county or something.
Well, let me tell you what. They can find out whose tires they were. There's a
Yeah.
number on them tires. All they gotta do is run them down and tell you who put them there.
Well, I'll take them over there to the county thing. I've been thinking about doing that for several days. I just hadn't done it.
In fact, they're not even paired to me.
No, they're just strays. Yep. Cherries. Cherries or plums? Guess those are little plums. Boy, they are pretty. And what are those? There. Ah, orange.
Did it, but I guess they maintain it was just a computer clip though, they couldn't duplicate it. Also, Cindy Sheehan pictured by the Associated Press waiting for throngs to come up and get an autographed copy of her book, except there's nobody there except about 30 media people taking pictures. Not one person Saturday signed up to get an autographed copy of any of her book. Soon you'll be searching for a gift. But not just any gift, a gift for someone so special that only something extraordinary will do. Something out of the box. Pandora Jewelry. Each Pandora Jewelry piece is crafted, each interchangeable with
Well, that's
more than
good.
300 individual
Got
beads
3
for
lines.
every charm moment in her life. Pandora Jewelry, available at On the Corner Gifts.
Yeah.
On the Corner, 31st
It's just-
Market, Oklahoma's largest selection and exclusive dealer for Pandora Gold, and home to a variety of truly meaningful gifts, including more than 150 styles of
Birds are really active here right now. I put in not any corn since yesterday, but for some reason, I see a lot of sparrows, cardinals, doves. A few minutes ago, there was a woodcock here. Hoping he's still around. Love to have a picture of the woodcock. It's close. Ground. But he was over there, and he went along the fence line. The dogs were out at that time, and instead of getting the camera, quickly I took the dogs in. I don't think the woodcock's gone far, but it's really hard to see in the thicket on the fence line here. I was hoping he'd go through the fence, be safe on the outside, but since I couldn't be sure of that, I took the dogs in early. Give him a chance to feed the yard. That's what he was already doing, and some birds like the inside of our yard better than the outside. There's a dove sitting 15 feet away. Where's the woodcock? Where's the woodcock? Big old long beak. It's just amazing. I've seen one in a long time. I was afraid the development over here had totally chased him away, but maybe this is a migrant who came to this area every year and found the development had taken the habitat, a heavily wooded habitat, and decided to check out the neighboring areas. Anyway, it's pretty exciting to me. Back in the days of hunting, I used to find woodcock pretty often. But here in my own yard, it's a rare thing. And I just didn't have the camera. I tell myself over and over, never be without a camera. But it happens too often. difficult to handle the dogs and other pets and carry the camera constantly. It's probably right over there. It could be inside the yard. But let it go for now. Stay ready for a few minutes. Been doing some work on the railroad here this morning. Yeah, I guess they're gonna send this train's gonna just push these other cars onto this siding that goes over to what was until recently the Love Box factory. They're selling out, we understand, and we're gonna get this gravel and so forth. It must be, I think it's being used on the railroad yard, but I'm guessing they're going to run this machinery they've been using there back the other way toward downtown. I don't know where they have to go for a siding to get it off. Okay, that rig's going that way now. We're not sure. We didn't see what work they were doing, but it was pretty noisy. Like they were packing something down. And then maybe this stuff's all going south when they get done. It's getting up there, it could probably tell me. Now that part's separated off and it's rolling back this way. Well, the main part of that one's going that way. Yeah, you know what you're doing. It all makes sense. At the moment, guess what they're doing. This man taking over that machine. He's going to drive it someplace. Yeah, there it goes.